Okay, so I saw a segment on our first take, and I just didn't want to wait to do a video, on their commentary. And plus, those videos run a little bit longer. So what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start just taking down notes of what they're saying, notes of my opinion slash whatever facts that I can drum up, and give solid content. And I'm gonna try to keep the. Last time I said I was gonna try to keep the video under 10 minutes. That didn't work out so well. Sometimes when I get caught up, I love these sports conversations, and sometimes when I get caught up in them, I can tend to talk a lot. So I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible. Now, I was watching a segment on First Take, and they were talking to O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son. And they were asking him about the Lakers, obviously, because they're from LA and he's a Lakers fan. And he was asking him his thoughts on why the team is in such bad shape as they are in now. I'm paraphrasing. But O'Shea really didn't have a valid answer. I mean, his main concern was just this team making the playoffs. They have LeBron. His team having the best chance to win a championship as possible. So I'm just here to give my opinion on why I think the Lakers have struggled thus far. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one with this opinion. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that has thought about this. Now, when I was growing up watching sports, there were two owners that were just infamous. George Steinbrenner of the New York Yankees, because I'm also a Red Sox fan, and Jerry Buss for the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Boston fan, so I grew up with a healthy disdain for anything Lakers, because I always felt like Boston had the better history. Their history is more blue collar than white collar, and the Lakers are more white collar than blue collar. And for anybody that doesn't know what that means, it means that the Boston Celtics, they actually work hard at building their teams. They don't use free agency and trading as a way of building their squads. And now, that's not any disrespect to Jerry Buss. He did what he needed to win titles, and I totally respect that. Sometimes you need to do what you got to do to get the job done, and I respect that. But this is the point I'm trying to make. Jerry Buss died February 18th, 2013. That was the year that they acquired Dwight Howard in a trade. They signed Steve Nash in free agency. Now, Jerry Buss, I'm not sure because I wasn't there, so I don't know, but I'm assuming that he was in a process of turning over control to his children. But at that point, he was still alive. I believe that he possibly could have gave them control at that point, because that year they went 45 and that year they went 45 and 37, I believe. Yeah, they finished third in their division. They didn't make the playoffs. I don't believe they made the playoffs. I believe they missed the playoffs. And I believe that was a huge flop. They were building that team up as some kind of super team, but it was a major flop because Dwight Howard was hurt for a majority of his time there, and Steve Nash was not nearly the player that he was in Phoenix. So it kind of got muddled. But that team still went 45 and 37. Now, after he died, after that season, this is where things just completely just go off track. And it's just a shit show since then. It's been 6 seasons since his passing. And each year, in 2013 and 14, they went 27 and 15. The next year, they went 21 and 61. The next year, they went 17 and 65. The next year, they went 26 and 56. The next year, they went 35 and 47. The next year, they went 37 and 45. And that's every single season. They have not finished a season where they were above 500 since his passing. And I think him turning control over of his team to his children was a huge mistake. If I was him, I get it. It's a legacy. You know, you want to pass it down but sometimes it's not the best, especially when your kids are not responsible. Sometimes it's not the best choice. You know, and the reason why I say they're both not responsible because I have heard people side with Jeannie Buss as the rightful owner or the better suited owner than her brother. And I'm not going to confirm or deny that. I'm just going to say the fact that her behavior and her brother's behavior has been so destructive that it completely derailed this organization. I mean, one bad decision after another, even when they made good decisions. You know, people would say, oh, that was still a bad choice. Drafting D'Angelo Russell with the second overall pick. I'm not going to say that he was second overall pick material, but compared to some other second overall picks, D'Angelo Russell was a hit. And I knew they were giving up this kid way too fast, man. Just like they're giving up on Lonzo way too fast. Just like they gave up on Julius Randle way too fast. Like, keep this dude, man. This dude is a baller. And his last year in LA, he was actually really good. He was a bright spot for that team. But one bad managerial decision after another, and you end up here. You end up one of the greatest franchises of all time that hasn't had a winning season in 6 years. And even when you had your winning season, I don't even know if they made the playoffs back in 2012, 2013. I'm actually trying to look it up because it's not saying here. All right. I don't know, but no. They finished third in their division. I don't think they made the playoffs. Oh, they did make the playoffs. They lost in the first round. All right, there you go. They lost in the first round. Because 45-37 is a playoff record. But they lost in the first round. This team has been bad for 6.5 years. That's the point I'm trying to get across. And it's been since he died. That's the only thing that I can see that is consistent. They haven't had a winning season since he was here. And it has to be because his kids can't seem to put their petty whatever grievances behind them to lead this team to a bright future. I mean, how can this be the greatest franchise ever when they're having such a terrible slump? And you got the presumably the best player in the world, and you still can't make the playoffs. And I already put a video out there saying that LeBron was not hurt. LeBron was resting because LeBron needs to rest because he's so goddamn old and his body is not the same way it used to be. So he needs to rest. If he doesn't rest, he gonna go into the playoffs all winded and shit, talking about, oh, you know, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. Like everybody else is not fucking tired. I mean, you're talking about teams that play 82 games plus like another 15, like another 15. That's crazy. Like, you're not the only one tired. So they needed to sit him just so, you know, they give him a break. Keep him refreshed until he comes back after the All-Star break. This team has been terrible since this guy's passing, and it's a shame. Because the Lakers were a great franchise. Right now, it just looked like turmoil. Everywhere you turn, one decision after another, it's just bad. And then you got so many people trying to get in everybody else's way. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of, I used an analogy and it makes sense. Jerry Buss was the main chef. Now that he's gone, now you have so many different cooks trying to add their own little recipe to, I mean, their own little, you know, thing to the recipe, and it's just coming out like shit. You know, this is what happens when you have so many chefs in the kitchen at once. I mean, shit just becomes just a cluttered mess, and there's no real leadership. There's no real leadership for this team. And until they figure that out and they get that underway, and I can see why Phil Jackson doesn't want to be back there. I wouldn't want to go back there either. I don't care if my wife works there. I wouldn't want to be back in that toxic environment. So that's it. All right.